A lot of us grew up watching Naruto, and in that regard, we grew up with Naruto. Us ultra weeps sitting there trying to copy many of the jutsu that we saw. Raise your hands if you were one of them. Oh, just me? Well, okay then, moving on. Today, we are going to take a look into one of the most controversial parts of Naruto, the Fourth Great Ninja War. And no, we are not doing an analysis or a breakdown of it. That's been done 1,000 times. Oh no, today, we are going into why you wouldn't survive the Fourth Great Ninja War. Yes, you, like as in you the viewer, or even me, I'm no different, but let's give ourselves a slight power boost. Instead of just normal people, we're going to put ourselves into the role of your everyday ordinary ninja. Not a civilian, not some superpowered being like Naruto or Sasuke, just an ordinary ninja fighting in this war. And for those of you who think you're built differently, I just have one thing for you. In order to do this though, we are going to cover some of the different aspects of this war and why it doesn't really matter where you are, who you are, or what you're doing, you would most likely be screwed. So, to start, who are we fighting? Well, most of us know this. We are fighting corpses reanimated by the Edo Tensei that are essentially immortal. The only way to take them out is by sealing them or by appealing to their emotions. And that's only if you know or have a close connection with the reanimated corpse, and only if Kabuto doesn't amp up the jutsu to completely take over them. These reanimated corpses are created by sacrificing the living in order to bring a copy of the dead back to life. So, if you are an extremely unfortunate individual, you might not even make it far into the war, as you could have been one of the ones sacrificed in order to bring one of these overpowered corpses back to life. If at this point, you still think you're built differently, remember, you are just an ordinary ninja compared to the likes of Naruto or Madara or even some of the more main cast ninja like Shikamaru. We aren't going to get into the details of power scaling because that is a large dumpster fire that I don't want to go anywhere near when it comes to Naruto. But let's just say 10-10 could probably throw hands and leave you in a heap. With that out of the way, let's get into some of the finer details of the war, starting off with what could and would probably happen to you on the front line. Who are you fighting here? Still reanimated corpses that can't be killed and can only be taken out by being sealed. But, in more details on the front line, you could be fighting loved ones that you may just not have what it takes to fight. So while you're trying to hold back because you know that person, their body has no other will but to kill you. On top of this, you would have to fight white Zetsus, who are essentially just wood people, if you want to break it down to the simplest point. There is a large, and I mean a massive number of these things, each who are probably just as strong, if not stronger, than your ordinary ninja. On the front lines, the most dangerous enemy that you will fight would have to be the Gold and Silver brothers Kinkaku and Ginkaku, who not only have items that can seal you away based off of the word you have said most from birth, but also have chakra from the nine-tailed fox and can turn into many forms of it just to cause havoc. Of course, on the front line, there are many other challenges to face, including Asuma, who can use ashes to blow you up. Let's just say, on the front line, any of us normal humans are well and dead. Next up, we have any kind of forward team included in the battle. This includes recon and spies. If you somehow manage to be put on one of these teams, well, I hate to say it, but I don't think you're going to make it very long. Spies would have to be some of the first people captured and sacrificed in order to create the reanimated army, and we would probably be among those captured. But let's say you're just on the forward team, which, as is stated, is one of the most important teams to the war as it could decide the turn of the battle. These are just a few of the things you would have to experience. First up is killer puppets. You're going to have to fight one of the greatest puppet masters of his time as he attacks you relentlessly with his dangerous puppets. The reanimated corpses rolling with the enemy's forward team are infused with explosive clay. So if you let your guard down, call it a good night, and give your homie some smooches. You have to deal with the person who infused those corpses with the explosive clay, Datara. If him screaming "art is an explosion" over and over again doesn't give you an aneurysm, his explosive birds will definitely take care of you. And last but not least, a giant poisonous salamander and the scythe-wielding ninja who controls it. At this point, you may be thinking, well, as long as I'm not on the front lines or the forward team, I should be safe, right? Wrong. As long as you are on the battlefield, you are in danger, and let me tell you why. Have you ever suspected a person of not being who they say they are? If not, well, you may be screwed even further, as the white Zetsu start showing up looking just like your friends. And unless you suspect them and catch them off guard like Sakura did with Neji, there's absolutely no way to tell which is which without the help of Naruto. So at this point, you can hold out for Naruto to show up while a war goes on around you, or you can get off by someone you thought you knew.
And last but not least comes those fighting with the fourth company. Now, with this one, I will say you do have a pretty good chance of surviving if your luck is high. And I mean extremely high. Hanging with the fourth company is absolutely no joke, and they go through a bunch of unfortunate events. First off, you have to go toe-to-toe with some of the past Kage. This list includes the second Tsuchikage Mu, the fourth Kazekage Raza, the third Reikage A, and the second Mizukage Gengetsu. And let me remind you, this is just the first unfortunate event to happen to the fourth company. First off, you have to deal with Mu, who can wield all 5 elemental nature transformations, along with the only Kekai Toto we get to see in the show that allows him to use Dust Release. This basically allows him to reduce you at a molecular level, so good luck surviving that. Then you have Raza, who's in the same position as Mu, but has a Kenkai Gekkai, which is Magnetic Release. Basically has the same powers as Gaara, but with materials that can be magnetized. Next up, you have A, which I mean, do I really need to say it? You would end up like this earth wall and not have even noticed what had just happened to you. And last but not least is Gengetsu, who can not only transform his body into water, but also summon a giant clam who can create illusions and summon a giant clone of himself composed of steam that cannot be hurt and can explode, taking everyone out in the area with it and then rebuilding itself afterwards to do it again. That was literally just the first wave that the fourth company had to face. The first. Because following that up, the fourth company has to face one of the strongest ninja in, well, the history of ninja? Madara. And do I even really need to go into detail about this? Everyone knows the scene. If you aren't taken out by this initial chaos, wait. Let me stop you there. No. You are not built different. No, you cannot match the godly level hands that Madara delivers to the people. And if you tried to stand out, you're going to be one of the first ones that Madara just takes out. But let's say you survived the deliverance of God's hands. Well, he's got another surprise for you, as the only thing in between you and certain doom is Oniki stopping the first meteor. Oh, there's a second one. Well, there go any chances you have. But no, to be honest, I think you see why I said what I said. If you, as a regular ninja, wanted to survive, you would need a massive amount of luck. Because no matter what you do, no matter where you go, in the fourth Great Ninja War, something will want to kill you. It's just a matter of where you are and what gets to you first. This has been Eddie Hates Anime, and maybe subscribe to me on YouTube if you feel kind, and if you like this video, also sub to Axie, because Axie's pretty neat. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Eddie. But that is all for my video on why you wouldn't survive the fourth Great Ninja War, and I really hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to see more why you wouldn't survive anime videos, let me know what you would like to see in the comments. And hey, if you want to feel good about yourself, let me know what anime you think you would survive, and I'll make a why you would survive anime video.